Hi everyone, this is Mr. Souza, and today you're going to learn how to solve one and two step equations. So, starting from question one, this is a example of a one step equation. So, notice here you have a x plus 2 equals 10. The idea here is you're trying to solve for the variable, meaning you have to isolate x, so x can be by itself. So because we have a plus here, you want to do the inverse operation, which is to subtract by 2 both sides, like this. 10 minus 2 will give you 8, so x equals 8. Number two is somewhat similar. It's just instead of a plus, now you have a minus 4. So the inverse of operation of subtracting will be adding. Many students say the word, oh, just do the opposite. You cannot really say the opposite. It's the inverse operation. So instead of a minus 4, you're going to add 4 both sides. So it will look like this. And then 12 plus 4 makes 16. And the 4 with the minus 4 gets canceled. So they get canceled, yes. So number 3 now. So number 3 says 3 times m equals 18. So instead of multiplying, you're going to divide both sides by 3. Same reason, inverse operation. So instead of multiplication, you divide. 18 divided by 3 makes 6. So you have m is equal to 6. And then question 4, whenever you see a fraction like this, that's division. So instead of dividing, you're going to multiply. So you multiply by 2 both sides. Why 2? Because 2 is the number that goes with k, and you're trying to isolate k, meaning k needs to be by itself. The 2's cancel each other, and 10 times 2 makes 20. So k equals 20. Okay, moving on to the next 4 questions. Please pause the video and try questions 5 through 8. Hello everyone, welcome back. Now we're going to go over questions 5 through 8. So for question 5, instead of adding 3, we're going to subtract 3 both sides like this. 7 minus 3 makes 4, and the 3's cancel each other. So b equals 4. Question 6, you have m minus 10. So instead of minus, you're going to add. Again, inverse operation. The 10's will cancel each other. 16 plus 10 makes 26. Moving on to question 7. We have a 4 attached to the k. That's multiplication. So instead, we're going to divide both sides by 4. So we get k equal to 5. And finally, question 8. Whenever you see a fraction, that's division. So instead of dividing by 3, you're going to multiply by 3. Both sides. The 3's cancel each other. And we get w is equal to 18. Okay. So moving on to the last part of the lesson, solving two-step equations. Solving two-step equations is not much different than solving one-step equations. It's just you have a additional step. So just think of it as it's a combination of questions 5 and 6 with questions 7 and 8. And here's why. Notice that questions 5 and 6, you had to either add or subtract. And questions 7 and 8, you had to either multiply or divide. So for two-step equations, you're going to add or subtract first, and then multiply or divide. So moving on to the last part of the lesson now, I'm going to go over questions 9 and 11 with you. So question 9, like I mentioned before, you have to add or subtract first. So because that's a minus 6, the inverse of that will be to add 6 both sides. So like this. Okay. One thing you can do too, if it makes it easier for you, is think of the equal sign as like a wall. So, like I have mentioned before, you're trying to isolate W, meaning the W has to be alone on this side. So now you get 2W is equal to 10. So like this. And then your last step is to multiply or divide. Since the 2 is attached to the W, that's treated as multiplication. So the inverse of that would be to divide. So you divide both sides by 2 like this. By 2, because that's the number attached to the W. And we get W is equal to 5. Question 11, it's somewhat similar, but this time it's a plus 6. So because of that, you're going to subtract 6 both sides. So subtract 6 from the 6, subtract 6 from the negative 12. Changing the colors. So now you're going to get W over 2, and that's equal to a negative 18. So you add the numbers and you keep the sign here. So next step, notice that's division. So instead, we're going to multiply. And you multiply both sides by 2, like this. The 2's cancel. And you're left with W is equal to negative 36. Okay. Please pause the video and try questions 10 and 12. Welcome back, everyone. Now we're going to go over questions 10 and 12. For question 10, you have a plus 5. So the inverse operation of that will be to subtract 5 both sides like this. So the 5's will cancel each other. And you're left with 3W equal to 6. That's 3 times W. So instead of multiplication, we're going to divide. So we divide both sides by 3. 3's cancel each other. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So W is equal to 2. And then last question, question 12. That's a minus 8. So instead, you're going to add 8 both sides like this. Changing the colors. So now we get W over 3. The 8's cancel each other. So now we have a negative 20 plus 8, which makes a negative 12. And then your final step, instead of dividing by 3, we're going to multiply by 3. So like this, both sides. So we get W is equal to negative 36. And that's how we solve two-step equations.